All right, hello. We are gonna make hidden veggie burgers today. They're not just veggie burgers, they've got meat in them, but some added extra vegetables here. To start with, if you are with Foreman Community Schools, go ahead and type your name into the chat, and that way I can get you your activity points. If you're watching with YouTube, shoot me an email, alexandria.degitz, D-E-G-I-T-Z, and say hidden veggie burgers or veggie burgers, and I will get you your points that way. So we will go ahead, we'll get started with our recipe and with our meal. First thing we want to do is preheat our pan. So I have a cast iron skillet here. You can use a regular skillet, you can use a grill, whatever you're using is totally fine. This is what I have. If you have like a non-stick skillet, that's awesome, but if it's not non-stick, make sure and spray some cooking spray on it just to prevent those burgers from sticking. My cast iron is seasoned, so nothing should stick to it. So we have our pan that's heating. We have 2 pounds of ground beef. I have 90-10 ground beef. Because that's what usually what I like to cook with, a little less fat in there. But you can use 80-20, whatever you have. You can also add in ground turkey, ground chicken, venison if you want to use that. Those are all great options for these burgers too. So that's up to you. So I have 2 pounds of that. I have 1 carrot and 1 crown of broccoli. We are going to shred those and add those into our burgers. So it adds some extra vitamins, minerals, nutrients, fibers, stuff like that, so that we feel a little bit better about eating just a burger. But you still have that meat, so you have all the deliciousness and the protein that comes with the burger. So the first thing we want to do, I've already done it, but we want to start with clean hands, so wash our hands. We are also going to wash our veggies off. So I'm going to pop over to the sink and do that really quick. Okay, we've got clean veggies. For root vegetables, it's really nice to have like a little vegetable scrubber. Make sure that you get all the dirt off of them. We'll make sure they're nice and dry. Because we are shredding them, there is some moisture that's going to come out and into our burgers, so we don't want any extra moisture in there. All right, so we'll get to shredding. We're getting a workout in today because this can take a little while. So I just have a box shredder that has a couple different sizes on it. I have trialed this with the big size, the largest size, and I found that the broccoli and the carrot were just a little too big and the burger fell apart a little bit while cooking. So I usually recommend the next biggest size, and that's what I'm going to use today. So we will go ahead and start shredding. So we'll just shred up our carrots and throw it into the bowl. Same with our broccoli. Don't shred your fingers in the process of doing this. Burn her down a little bit because we've got a little bit of steam coming off of it. I don't want it to be too hot when I put those burgers on. Like I said, you're gonna get your workout in with these burgers today. Okay, that's about as far as I can go without cutting some of my finger off. We don't need any finger in our burgers today. So we will go ahead. I have a big mixing bowl and just throw that shredded carrot in there. And then we'll start with our broccoli. So the broccoli is a little more difficult to shred just because it has, you know, each of those individual little stalks, but just do the best you can. Any broccoli that gets in there is good broccoli. So this recipe makes about 12 burgers, kind of depending on the size of burger that you plan to do. It makes about 12. So what I will do today is cook 2 of them up, and then the rest of them I'm going to throw into a baggie, a plastic baggie, and label and put them in the freezer so that I have them available and easy to make next time. Switch sides on my broccoli here. When you get close to the top, it can get a little flimsy. So then it's beneficial to just kind of break off each individual stalk and shred it that way. Once you get down to the bottom, we don't want those in there because that's going to kind of mess with the texture and the consistency of our burgers. We'll just toss those over to the side. We're almost there. Okay, we've got plenty of broccoli here now. So same thing with this, we're just going to scoop it up and throw it into our big bowl. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can see that the consistency of our broccoli is very, very fine. So it's not going to be in big chunks in our burgers. It will affect the color of our burger a little bit. They're going to look a little bit more green than a normal burger would, but it's not going to have a super broccoli texture, if you will. Okay, so I'm going to clean up my mess here, throw this stuff in the sink, and then we'll add our ground beef into our bowl. Okay. I'm gonna throw my pan back on here. It was getting a little too hot. Okay, so I have my ground beef in an extra bowl because if you can see, once it thawed, it kind of ran all over the place. So a really good reason to keep your meat in a separate bag in the fridge and always put it on the lowest level. That way you're not having all of that meat juice run into your other foods in the fridge. So fun food safety tip for you today. So we will go ahead and throw our ground beef into our big mixing bowl. Set this off to the side. All right, from here, we're going to add in some spices. So we have garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. We're going to do a teaspoon each of the garlic powder and onion powder. Throw that in there. Here we go. And then a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper and a tablespoon of salt. Once those are in there, you can grab a spoon and mix this all up or just get in there. I find that it's easier just to mix everything around with my hand. We just want to make sure that all of the veggies are incorporated. Everything has kind of a nice uniform texture and look to it. We don't want patties that are super veggie and not enough meat. Same with the opposite. Okay. Now, if you're at this point and you want to cook these up for dinner tonight, but you're not quite ready to make them, you can go ahead and cover this and throw it into the fridge and wait a couple hours until you are ready to cook them up for your dinner. That is totally fine. Like I said, I'm going to cook up 2 right now just to have. I'll probably eat them, one of them at least, for lunch tomorrow. And then the rest I'm going to package up to freeze. All right. So we've got a nice mixture here. Beautiful. So let's go ahead. We'll start to make our patties. I just grab a handful and kind of smush it in my hands into a ball. And then flatten into a patty. You don't want super thick patties because it's going to have a hard time cooking down into the center without the outside being like charbroiled. So these 2 patties that I've made here, I'm just going to go ahead and throw them into my pan and we'll cook them up. And while those are cooking, I will keep making more of these patties to get ready to freeze. So when you are cooking your hamburgers, ideally we want our hamburgers to be well done, just because it is a ground meat product, which means that bacteria can get on the inside because it's been all ground up. So ideally we want them well done, and that would be cooked to an internal temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit if you use a meat thermometer. So I know everybody wants to talk about bacteria while they're cooking, but another food safety tidbit for you today. Okay. We're getting close to the end here. Didn't quite make 12 today because I made them a little bit bigger than I normally do. And last one. After this one, I'm going to go wash my hands off and check out these burgers that we're cooking, see how they're doing. Okay. That doesn't need to go there. So if you are using a grill and you notice that your burgers are kind of a little more on the crumbly side, definitely good to put a line of foil down just to keep everything from falling through those grates. I'm going to go ahead and flip these. I don't know if you guys can see them. They look like burgers. Once you get them on the bun and put all your toppings on them, no one will even notice that there are extra veggies in there. So while those cook the rest of the way, I'm going to go ahead and take care of these. I'm going to take one of my gallon-sized baggies and label it with the date and what we're putting in here. These are good in the freezer for about 6 months. Like anything else. Take a sheet of craft paper. I'll put 2 burgers on and fold it. Make kind of a burger sandwich. Slide it into my baggie. This makes it really easy too when you're wanting to pull out not the whole bag of burgers. So they're wrapped in packs of 2, and that way you can just pull out 2. That's all you need. last two here. The carrots and the broccoli are just kind of a basic for this one. If you wanted to do some experimenting and try some different vegetables, you could totally do that. Kind of mix and match and see what you like. We'll fill that guy up and he will go into the freezer. We'll check on these burgers that are cooking here. They look good to me. I don't have my meat thermometer out, but we'll check the internal. It's cooked all the way through, so that looks good. So we'll pull those off. I'll get a plate to put them on. So from here, you just grab your favorite burger toppings and a bun or a lettuce wrap or something like that, whatever you like. Add it on there, add some cheese if you want, and you have yourself a delicious burger and healthy. We've got our veggies in there. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat here. I'm happy to answer anything. Again, if you are with Fort Wayne Community Schools, please go ahead and type your name into the chat, and that way I can get your activity points. If you're watching from YouTube, please send me an email, alexandria.degitz, D-E-G-I-T-Z, and I will send me an email that says veggie burgers or something like that, and I'll get your points added that way. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat. Otherwise, thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you enjoy your veggie burgers. Definitely shoot me an email and let me know what you think of them. So thanks, guys.